played sports at all in your life? Have you ever gotten frustrated with the sport or someone else caused you to be frustrated with it? Sports are not the happy-go-lucky, fun activities they seem to be nowadays. Athletes struggle from depression for many different reasons. I have played sports a majority of my life and have firsthand seen the struggle that these athletes go through at every game or every practice. Sports can cause depression because of parents and coaches that criticize the kids, pressure to be perfect for these athletes, and how some athletes use steroids. Let's begin with the parents and the coaches. Athletes go through the struggle of having to impress their parents or coaches or even teammates every single day. It all starts in kids feeling shame for not doing good in a game or messing up once or twice here and there. According to Athletes in Action, in more than 25 years of listening to athletes from youth to professional levels process their experience of sports, I've learned that these parental behaviors can be counted on not only to ruin their experience of play, but also to create multi-layered psychological and spiritual maladies that stick throughout life. Kids are wanting to quit sports nowadays because of the parents and coaches that are putting pressure on them to keep going even though they don't like the game or the play. They just tell them that they'll get better with practice and in every game they just need to try harder. In Introduction to Child Athletes, Watkins quoted, during a Sunday Pee Wee football game at Burholm Park in Philadelphia, Wayne Durkach pulled a loaded gun on his child's coach because Durkach felt his child was not getting enough playing time. A dentist in Albuquerque, Minnesota, sharpened the face mask of his son's football helmet in order to slash opposing players. During a youth baseball game, a Pennsylvania policeman gave a pitcher $2 to hit a 10-year-old batter with a fastball. These parents and coaches are making their kids do things that they would never imagine to do, and they're making their kids hate the game that they used to once love. Parents are willing to put their kid and other kids in danger just so their kid will look better and make it look like they won the game for their team. In this short clip I'm about to show you, it is going to reverse the roles of a parent and a kid and the pressure that they feel.
Come on, Dad, focus. Widen your stance a little. Don't slouch. And don't screw up. This is the big leagues. What are you doing? Keep around the ball. That was pathetic.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, sorry doesn't cut it.
As you can tell from that clip, many kids feel that this is how their parents see them every time they play. These athletes keep building up pressure and it can be dangerous for them. Athletes feel themselves needing to be perfect not just for others but themselves as well. They are willing to do whatever it takes to be the perfect athlete. Not only are they willing to push themselves but are willing to hurt themselves by starving themselves. In Men Are at Risk of Eating Disorders, Kudzi said, at 5'7" and 168 pounds, this 18-year-old college freshman looks like a typical teenager. He does well in school, plays sports, and even has a girlfriend. This was conducted by a man named Roberto Alverdia, who interviewed him for a college-aged men with eating disorders experiment. But when he did a closer look, it revealed that the young man's skin is taut against his face, and his teeth have no enamel. He vomits 3 to 4 times a day, he said. His body is so accumulated to purging that he can open his mouth and rid his stomach of the 2 gallons of ice cream, 1 large pizza, and 12 scrambled eggs that he eats on a typical binge. In this picture I'm about to show you, you will be seeing a track athlete right after his race throwing up. As you can tell, this athlete is pushing themselves so hard just so they can win that they're throwing up everything that they have put themselves into. Athletes are willing to do whatever it takes to look good and stay in shape for their sport, no matter how mentally and physically damaging it can be to them. According to sports meds today, athletes and active individuals are not immune from mental illness at all. In fact, depression and anxiety disorders may occur in athletes at least as commonly as the general population. Sometimes sports serves as a tool to help an athlete cope with symptoms of mental illness, but sometimes the pressures of the sport may cause or contribute to anxiety and depression. These athletes just put on a face and cover up the depression that they are feeling, but always go to play the game to cover up it. The depression these athletes feel can overwhelm them, but some resort to other things to make them better athletes. Over the years, we have seen many of our favorite athletes use illegal methods to make themselves stronger, faster, or even better. An example would be Lance Armstrong. He was a U.S. Olympic bicyclist who used steroids during his time. In the article, "Steroids Are Harmful," West quoted, "In the increasingly competitive and lucrative world of pro sports, more and more players are feeling the pressure to get the competitive edge, and they are trying to increase performance through synthetic and oftentimes illegal means. Many of these athletes don't understand the toll they are putting on their bodies and their minds when they take these steroids." West quoted, "It's a physical toll, a psychological toll, and a toll on your soul. These athletes will experience many symptoms that come along with it, such as roid rage, depression, and in some even rare cases, cancer can occur. Sports are not always the fun activity that most people make them out to be, like I said earlier. Sports can cause depression for many more reasons than what we see, even the ones that I said about the parents and the coaches who criticize the kids, or the pressure these athletes feel to be perfect, or how some athletes use steroids to make themselves be better athletes. Those are just some of the very few important means to me. And always remember, if you are a parent and want your kids to get into a sport, please don't force them to. Let them choose the sport they want, or if they even like it. But if they don't get mad at them. Also, don't get upset at any professional athlete or just a regular athlete. Just because they mess up, they already know they messed up and they already feel bad about it.